The year is 2247, and humanity stands on the precipice of a new era. Mars, once a barren wasteland, now thrives as a bustling colony, a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. Yet the fragile peace between Earth, Mars, and their distant allies, the Zorathians of the lush jungle world Zorith, and the Krylos of the icy Krylos 9, hangs by a thread. Resource scarcity, territorial disputes, and cultural misunderstandings have sown seeds of distrust among the three civilizations. The stage is set for a conflict that could reshape the galaxy. Commander Elena Voss stands on the observation deck of the Martian outpost, her sharp blue eyes scanning the crimson horizon. A veteran of the Martian Defense Corps, Elena has spent her life protecting humanity's interests in the stars. Her reputation as a brilliant strategist is matched only by her unwavering sense of duty. But even she feels the weight of the growing tensions. The alliance with the Zorathians and Krylos is fragile, and every decision she makes could tip the balance toward war. Tarek, a Zorathian diplomat, paces the halls of the Zorathian embassy on Mars. His emerald-green skin glistens under the artificial light, and his antennae twitch with unease. Tarek has spent years advocating for peace, but his people grow restless. The Zorathians, a proud and warrior-like species, view the alliance as a temporary necessity. Tarek knows that if he cannot secure a decisive victory for his people in the ongoing negotiations, his career, and perhaps his life, will be forfeit. Nissa, a Krylos scientist, works tirelessly in her lab on Krylos 9. Her pale, crystalline skin reflects the cold light of her homeworld, and her breath forms tiny frost clouds as she exhales. Nissa has discovered something extraordinary, a mysterious energy signature emanating from a distant asteroid. The energy is unlike anything she has ever seen, and its potential is staggering. But as she delves deeper into her research, she begins to suspect that this discovery may come at a terrible cost. The catalyst, the asteroid, designated X-427, enters the solar system like a silent predator. Initial scans reveal it to be a relic of an ancient alien race, long extinct. Its surface is pockmarked with strange symbols, and its core pulses with an otherworldly energy. The discovery sends shockwaves through the galaxy. The asteroid contains enough power to sustain entire civilizations for millennia, or to destroy them in an instant. The three factions immediately lay claim to the asteroid. Humanity sees it as a solution to their energy crisis. The Zorathians view it as a weapon to secure their dominance, and the Krylos believe it holds the key to unlocking their species' survival on their dying world. Diplomatic channels strain under the weight of competing demands, and the fragile alliance begins to fracture. Rising tensions. Skirmishes erupt near the asteroid as human and Zorathian forces clash. The Krylos, initially neutral, are drawn into the conflict when a human warship accidentally destroys one of their outposts. The incident sparks outrage among the Krylos, and Nissa finds herself at the center of a political firestorm. Her discovery, once a source of hope, now threatens to ignite a full-scale war. Elena struggles to maintain order among her troops, while Tarek works desperately to broker a ceasefire. But trust is in short supply, and every attempt at diplomacy is met with suspicion. The asteroid looms in the distance, a silent witness to the chaos it has unleashed. The betrayal. Tarek uncovers a chilling secret. A rogue faction within the Zorathian government plans to seize the asteroid by force. Their goal is not merely to claim its power, but to use it as a weapon against humanity. Tarek knows he must warn Elena, but his message is intercepted. By the time Elena receives the warning, it is too late. The rogue Zorathians launch a surprise attack, catching the human fleet off guard. The battle is fierce, and the asteroid becomes a battleground. Elena's forces are outnumbered, and the Krylos, still reeling from the destruction of their outpost, refuse to intervene. Cliffhanger ending. As the battle rages, the asteroid suddenly activates. The ancient symbols on its surface glow with an eerie light, and a deep, resonant hum fills the void. The asteroid is not a lifeless rock. It is a sentient warship, a relic of a long-forgotten war. A massive pulse of energy erupts from the warship, disabling all nearby vessels. Human, Zorathian, and Krylos ships are left adrift in space, their systems fried. The warship begins to move, its trajectory set for Mars. Elena stares in horror as the warship looms closer. Tarek curses his inability to prevent the catastrophe. Nissa, watching from her lab, realizes the true nature of the energy source she discovered. It was a beacon, designed to awaken the warship. As the warship approaches Mars, its intentions remain unclear. Is it a weapon, a protector, or something far more sinister? The factions, now powerless and stranded, must confront the possibility that their petty conflicts have awakened a force beyond their understanding. The celestial war has begun. The pulse from the Harbinger had left the combined fleets of humanity, the Zorathians and the Krylos in shambles. Ships drifted aimlessly in the void, their systems fried, and their crews scrambling to regain control. On the bridge of the crippled human flagship, Commander Elena Voss surveyed the damage with a grim expression. "Report," she barked, her voice cutting through the chaos. Lieutenant Marcus Hale, his face streaked with soot, responded. "Engines are down, weapon systems offline, and life support is running on backup power. Casualties are significant." Elena clenched her fists. "And the other factions?" "The Zorathians are in worse shape than we are," Marcus replied. "The Krylos ships are holding steady, but they've gone silent. No communications, no movement." Elena's mind raced. The Harbinger was moving toward Mars, its massive form casting a shadow over the planet. If they didn't act quickly, Mars, and humanity's foothold in the stars, would be lost. Chapter 2. Tarek's Dilemma. On the Zorathian flagship, Tarek struggled to maintain order. The Pulse had devastated his people's fleet, and the rogue faction's betrayal had left the crew divided. Many blamed Tarek for the Alliance's failure, accusing him of being too trusting of the humans. "We need to regroup," Tarek said, addressing the surviving officers. "The Harbinger is the real threat. If we don't stop it, none of us will survive." But his words fell on deaf ears. The officers, loyal to the rogue faction, glared at him with open hostility. "You've done enough, Tarek," one of them sneered. "The humans are our enemies, and you've been their puppet for too long." Before Tarek could respond, the officers seized control of the ship, declaring him a traitor. Tarek was forced to flee, taking a small group of loyalists with him. As they escaped in a shuttle, Tarek vowed to find a way to stop the Harbinger and to redeem himself in the eyes of his people. Chapter 3. Nissa's Revelation. On the Krylos' 9 outpost, Nissa pored over the ancient texts, her mind racing as she pieced together the truth about the Harbinger. The text spoke of a long-extinct race known as the Celestials, who had created the warship as a failsafe against interplanetary war. The Harbinger was designed to activate only when conflict reached a critical threshold. Nissa muttered to herself, "It's not just a weapon, it's a judge, and it's here to decide our fate." Her discovery was met with skepticism from the Krylos High Council. "This is preposterous," one counselor said. "The Harbinger is a source of energy, nothing more. We should be focusing on how to harness it for our survival." Nissa shook her head. "If we try to harness its power, we'll only provoke it further. We need to find a way to deactivate it, or prove that we're worthy of survival." But the council was unmoved. Nissa was ordered to stand down, her research confiscated. Frustrated and desperate, she knew she had to take matters into her own hands. Chapter 4. Political Intrigue. On Zorath, the rogue faction's coup was complete. The government had been overthrown, and the new regime wasted no time in declaring war on humanity. "The humans are a threat to our survival," the new leader, Counselor Vela, declared. "We will seize the Harbinger and use it to crush them once and for all." Tarek, watching the broadcast from his shuttle, felt a surge of anger and despair. His people had been led astray, and he was powerless to stop them. Meanwhile, on Krylos 9, the High Council began preparations to evacuate the outpost. "The Harbinger's trajectory suggests it will target Mars first," one counselor said. "We must distance ourselves from the conflict and ensure our survival." Nissa, however, refused to abandon her mission. She secretly transmitted her findings to Elena and Tarek, hoping they could use the information to stop the Harbinger. Chapter 5. The Battle of Phobos. The Harbinger reached Mars' moon, Phobos, and began harvesting its resources to grow stronger. Its surface pulsed with energy as it absorbed the moon's minerals, its massive form casting an ominous shadow over Mars. Elena, determined to protect her people, led a desperate counterattack. The human fleet, though outmatched, fought valiantly, their ships darting around the Harbinger like gnats around a giant. But it wasn't enough. The warship's energy cannon obliterated ship after ship, its defenses impenetrable. Just as all hope seemed lost, Tarek and his loyalists arrived, their shuttle weaving through the chaos. "Elena!" Tarek's voice crackled over the comms. "We're here to help." Elena hesitated, her mistrust of the Zorathians still fresh, but she knew they had no other choice. "Welcome to the fight," she said grimly. Together, the human and Zorathian forces launched a coordinated assault, targeting the Harbinger's energy cannon. The battle was fierce, the void lit up with explosions and energy blasts. Slowly, they began to gain ground. Chapter 6: The Cryptic Message. As the battle raged, Elena received a transmission, not from her fleet, but from the Harbinger itself. The message was brief and chilling. "You are the architects of your destruction. Prove your worth, or perish." Elena stared at the screen, her mind racing. The Harbinger wasn't just a mindless weapon, it was testing them. But how could they prove their worth? And what would happen if they failed? Chapter 7: Cliffhanger Ending. The Battle of Phobos ended in a stalemate. The Harbinger, its energy cannon damaged, retreated toward Mars, its ominous presence a constant reminder of the stakes. Elena, Tarek, and Nissa found themselves at a crossroads. The alliance was fractured, their forces weakened, and the Harbinger's message loomed over them like a death sentence. As they regrouped, Elena shared the message with her allies. "We need to figure out what wants," she said, "and we need to do it fast." Nissa nodded. "The answer lies in the ancient texts. But we'll need to work together, all of us." Tarek, though wary, agreed. "For the sake of our people, we have no other choice." But as they prepared for the next phase of their mission, the Harbinger began its descent toward Mars, its energy cannon charging once more. The clock was ticking, and the fate of 3 civilizations hung in the balance. The Harbinger descended upon Mars like a storm of fire and steel. Its energy cannon unleashed devastating blasts, reducing cities to smoldering ruins and forcing the surviving population into underground bunkers. The Martian sky burned red, choked with ash and debris, as the warship loomed overhead like a malevolent god. Commander Elena Voss stood in the command center of the largest bunker, her face illuminated by the flickering light of holographic displays. Reports poured in from across the planet, casualties, destroyed infrastructure, and desperate pleas for help. "We can't hold out much longer," Lieutenant Marcus Hale said, his voice strained. "The Harbinger's attacks are too precise. It's targeting our defenses first, then moving on to civilian areas." Elena clenched her fists. "We need to buy time. Tarek and I will lead a guerrilla campaign to slow its advance. Marcus, you stay here and coordinate the defense." As Elena prepared to leave, a transmission came through from Tarek, who was leading a small group of Zorathian loyalists. "Elena," he said, his voice crackling with static, "we've identified a weak point in the Harbinger's defenses. If we can hit it hard enough, we might be able to slow it down." Elena nodded. "Send me the coordinates. We'll meet you there." Chapter 2: Nissa's Discovery. On the Krylos 9 outpost, Nissa worked tirelessly, her pale blue skin glowing under the harsh light of her lab. The ancient texts had revealed a potential way to deactivate the Harbinger, a code derived from the Celestial's language. But there was a catch. The code had to be entered manually from within the warship itself. Nissa knew what this meant. Someone would have to infiltrate the Harbinger, a mission that was almost certainly suicidal. She stared at the code on her screen, her mind racing. "I have to do this," she whispered to herself. "It's the only way." Before she could act, the Krylos High Council summoned her. The council chamber was cold and sterile, the counselors' faces unreadable. "Nissa," one of them said, "we've reviewed your findings. The Harbinger is too powerful to confront directly. Our priority must be the survival of our people." Nissa's heart sank. "You're abandoning the Alliance." We are prioritizing our survival, the counselor replied. The Krylos will evacuate our outposts and retreat to a safe distance. You are to cease your research and prepare for evacuation. Nissa shook her head. If we run, we'll only prove the Harbinger right. We have to stand together. But the council was unmoved. Nissa was ordered to stand down, her lab sealed off. As the evacuation began, she made a decision. She would infiltrate the Harbinger herself, even if it meant defying her own people. Chapter 3. The Zorathian Civil War. On Zorath, the rogue faction's grip on power was tightening. Counselor Vela, now the de facto leader, addressed the Zorathian people in a fiery speech. The humans have brought this upon us, she declared. Their recklessness has awakened the Harbinger, and now we must take drastic measures to ensure our survival. Unbeknownst to most, Vela had ordered the development of a weapon capable of destroying the Harbinger, a massive energy bomb that could be deployed from a Zorathian warship. But the weapon had a catastrophic flaw. Its detonation would annihilate Mars and everything on it. Tarek, still in hiding, learned of the weapon through a trusted contact. His heart sank as he realized the implications. If the weapon was used, millions of innocent lives would be lost, and the Alliance would be shattered forever. He contacted Elena, his voice heavy with urgency. Elena, there's something you need to know. The Zorathians have developed a weapon that can destroy the Harbinger, but it will also destroy Mars. You need to evacuate as many people as possible. Elena's face hardened. We can't abandon Mars. There has to be another way. Tarek hesitated. There might be. Nissa believes she's found a way to deactivate the Harbinger from within, but it's a suicide mission. Elena's eyes narrowed. Then we'll give her the time she needs. Chapter 4. The Krylos Exodus. As the Harbinger's attacks intensified, the Krylos began their evacuation. Ships laden with supplies and personnel departed Krylos 9, leaving the outpost eerily quiet. Nissa watched from a hidden vantage point, her heart heavy with despair. She had pleaded with the council to stay, to fight, but her words had fallen on deaf ears. Now she was alone. As the last ship disappeared into the stars, Nissa activated a small shuttle she had commandeered. Her destination, the Harbinger. Chapter 5. The Battle for Survival. On Mars, Elena and Tarek led their guerrilla campaign, targeting the Harbinger's weak points with hit-and-run tactics. The warship's defenses were formidable, but their coordinated strikes began to take a toll. We're slowing it down, Tarek said during a brief respite. But we can't keep this up forever. Elena nodded. We just need to buy Nissa enough time to do what she needs to do. As they prepared for their next strike, a transmission came through from the Zorathian fleet. Counselor Vela's face appeared on the screen, her expression cold and determined. Commander Voss, she said, we have a solution to your problem. Stand down, and we will destroy the Harbinger. Elena's eyes narrowed. At what cost? Vela hesitated for a moment. The weapon we've developed will annihilate Mars, but it's a small price to pay for the survival of our people. Elena's voice was icy. We won't let you sacrifice millions of lives. Vela's expression hardened. Then you leave us no choice. The transmission ended, and Elena turned to Tarek. We need to stop them. Chapter 6. Nissa's Infiltration. Nissa's shuttle approached the Harbinger, its massive form filling the viewport. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for what lay ahead. As she docked with the warship, she was met with an eerie silence. The interior was a labyrinth of glowing corridors and ancient machinery, the air thick with the hum of energy. Following the coordinates from the ancient texts, Nissa made her way to the control panel. But as she reached it, a holographic figure materialized before her, an AI manifestation of the Celestials. You are not worthy, the AI said, its voice echoing with authority. Your civilizations have proven only their capacity for destruction. Nissa stood her ground. We are more than our mistakes. Give us a chance to prove it. The AI studied her for a moment. Very well, but the price of failure is extinction. Chapter 7. Cliffhanger Ending. As Nissa faced the AI, Elena and Tarek prepared for their final stand against the Zorathian fleet. The Harbinger loomed over Mars, its energy cannon charging once more. The fate of 3 civilizations hung in the balance, and the clock was ticking. The final alliance. The skies above Mars were a chaotic tapestry of fire and light as the combined fleets of humanity, the Zorathians, and the Krylos launched their desperate assault on the Harbinger. Commander Elena Voss stood on the bridge of the human flagship, her eyes fixed on the massive warship that loomed over the planet like a harbinger of doom. "This is it," she said, her voice steady despite the tension in the air. "We either stop the Harbinger now, or we lose everything." Beside her, Tarek nodded, his emerald-green skin glistening under the harsh light of the command center. "The Zorathian loyalists are ready. We'll follow your lead." A holographic display flickered to life, showing the Krylos fleet, small but agile, positioned on the flank. Nissa's absence was felt deeply, but her sacrifice had galvanized the remaining Krylos forces. Elena took a deep breath. "All ships, move into position. We hit the Harbinger with everything we've got." Chapter 2, Nissa's Trial. Inside the Harbinger, Nissa stood before the AI manifestation of the Celestials, her heart pounding in her chest. The control panel loomed behind her, its surface covered in glowing symbols that pulsed with an otherworldly light. "You seek to deactivate me," the AI said, its voice echoing through the chamber. "But first, you must prove your worth." Nissa clenched her fists. "What do you want from me?" The AI's form shifted, becoming a mirror image of Nissa herself. "You must confront the truth of your species. Show me that you are more than your flaws." The chamber dissolved around her, replaced by a series of visions, scenes of war, betrayal, and destruction from the histories of all 3 civilizations. Nissa watched as her own people abandoned their allies, as the Zorathians turned on humanity, and as humanity's recklessness awakened the Harbinger. "This is who you are," the AI said. "Prove me wrong." Nissa closed her eyes, drawing on the strength of her convictions. "We are more than our mistakes. We are capable of change, of growth, of unity. Let us show you." Chapter 3, The Battle for Mars. The combined fleet engaged the Harbinger in a furious battle, their ships weaving through the warship's defenses like a swarm of angry bees. Energy blasts lit up the void, and the screams of dying soldiers echoed over the comms. Elena's flagship took heavy damage, its hull buckling under the strain. "We can't keep this up." Lieutenant Marcus Hale shouted. "We're losing too many ships." Elena's eyes narrowed. "We don't have a choice. We fight until the end." On the Zorathian ship, Tarek coordinated the Loyalists' attacks, his heart heavy with the knowledge of the rogue faction's weapon. He knew he had to act quickly. If the weapon was deployed, Mars would be lost. Chapter 4, The Turning Point. Tarek's shuttle approached the rogue faction's flagship, its surface bristling with weapons. He had volunteered for the mission, knowing it was a one-way trip. As he docked with the ship, he was met with a hail of gunfire. Tarek fought his way to the weapons control room, his body battered and bleeding. "You're too late, Tarek," Counselor Vela sneered as he entered. "The weapon is already armed." Tarek's eyes burned with determination. "Not if I have anything to say about it." With a final burst of strength, he disabled the weapon's core, triggering a chain reaction that consumed the ship in a blinding explosion. On the human flagship, Elena watched in horror as the Zorathian ship was obliterated. "Tarek," she whispered, her voice breaking. Chapter 5, The Climax. Inside the Harbinger, Nissa reached the control panel, her fingers trembling as she input the code. The AI watched silently, its form flickering with uncertainty. "You have shown courage," it said. "But is it enough?" Nissa's voice was firm. "We are flawed, but we are also capable of greatness. Let us prove it." As the final symbol was entered, the Harbinger's systems began to shut down. The warship's energy cannon, fully charged and ready to fire, powered down just as it was about to unleash its cataclysmic attack. The AI's form shifted one last time, becoming a serene, glowing figure. "You have proven your worth. The cycle of destruction ends here." Chapter 6, Epilogue. With the Harbinger neutralized, the factions began the long process of rebuilding. Mars, though scarred, was saved. Elena, now a revered leader, worked tirelessly to establish a lasting peace. Tarek's sacrifice was honored by all, his name becoming a symbol of unity and courage. Nyssa, hailed as a hero, returned to Krylos, 9 to rebuild her people's trust in the alliance. Though haunted by the cost of victory, she found solace in the knowledge that they had chosen a better path. As the 3 civilizations looked to the stars, they vowed to learn from their mistakes and forge a brighter future together.